be signed by Barcelona, but apparently that seems not that is not going to happen. Marcus Rashford is expected to come back to Manchester United and come and try his luck again. West Brom has come out and has tipped Rashford to stay and shine at Old Trafford. Rashford, 28, fell out with previous coaches, and in 2025 he was left out of match squad, undergoing two successful loan stints at Aston Villa and Barcelona. The versatile forward and Barcelona wanted to complete a permanent deal this summer, but the Spanish champion refused to meet the 40 million release clause. Thus decided to sign a Anthony Gordon, which cost them about 70 million pounds. The England international remains in Manchester United book, but his future is still uncertain. However, Brown believes that Rashford would make a great addition after his stint in Barcelona and his last stint at the World Cup. I mean, the same Rashford that was frozen out of Manchester United was picked for the World Cup by Thomas Tuchel. And if you look at the record of Thomas Tuchel, he doesn't just pick any player; he picks players that he feels will be very, very important for him. Do you think there is a pathway for Marcus Rashford to succeed at Old Trafford? I will start with Temiloluwa, who is a Manchester United fan. Temiloluwa, do you think Marcus Rashford can come back and succeed under Carrick?
I don't think so because he doesn't have the mentality. The mentality has gone. You understand? So when he left Manchester United earlier for Barcelona, he said he needed to change environment. So if you are saying you wanted to change environment and now you are coming back, what's changed? You're still coming back to the same environment. And here you are, you are still consistent, and here you are, you are still back in the environment. So after all of those interviews that he granted, you understand, that he made at Barcelona, coming back to Manchester United is just not the solution. You understand? And there's a reason. I tell many Manchester United fans that are excited about Rashford comeback. I said there's a reason why no club is going for him. There's a reason why Barcelona didn't sign him for 26 million. Rather, they went to sign Gordon for 70 million. There's a reason why they went to sign Adeyemi from Borussia Dortmund instead of signing Marcus Rashford. There's a reason why no top club is interested in signing Rashford. There's a reason why even most clubs in the Premier League are not interested in signing Rashford. So why would you not be excited about getting a player that almost everybody annoying? Yes, and he sends you a message, and it's very, very disheartening that Rashford's career took that bend. You understand? At some point in time, he was ahead of Mbappe. You understand? When it comes to performance, when it comes to potential, he was ahead of Mbappe. You understand? All of a sudden, now see Mbappe stopping the stage. You understand? Breaking and setting everything. You understand? Why you see Rashford being inconsistent? I don't know if it is an England thing. You understand? But English players tend to fade out too easily. You understand? Before they clock the age of 30, you can see them zoning out already. I mean, the aside the exception from Hurricane, you understand, and a couple of few, but most of them they tend to zone out before the age of 30. And imagine Rashford earning over 300,000 pounds a week, even earning more than Bruno Fernandes. You understand? So coming back into that dressing room is not going to be the best thing. Wes Brown is an English player. Yes, we have to back Rashford. Many of the English players are backing Rashford, you understand, but I do not see a way back for him because number one, he has lost his jersey number to Konya number 10. You understand? And coming back to Manchester United, he's not a starter. I don't see him as a starter. I don't see him as somebody that can contribute heavily to how the team wants to play. You understand? I don't see him as somebody that is level-headed. You understand? He looks like somebody that is lost, that doesn't have ambition and every other thing. You understand? So I don't know if the club says it's best to, but then we have to also consider the new FIFA rule that says even if you do not need a player, the player has to train. So in this point, putting that into context now, there's no how Rashford has to train. You understand? Even if the club needs him, they don't need him. He has to train based on the rules. You understand? He has to be in the match day squad based on the rules. You understand? But I'm still not ruling out and that. And sometimes you need to act like you need the player to protect their value. You understand? Because the moment you say this player is in the bomb squad, is, you understand, the player starts losing value immediately. You understand? Yes, sir, almost immediately because they know you do not need the player. But when you create an atmosphere where, okay, you know what, this player, we still need this player, but if you want to buy him, you can come. Your side to just protect his value. So that's what I feel. Reintegrating him back into the team is not the best decision for me. Understand? If Barcelona could not sign him for 26 million, I went to sign Gordon for 70 million. He sends us a message that, you know what, there's something about this guy that previous coaches have been right about him that Amorim was right about. You understand? There's something about him that Ansu Flick was right about. It might be his off-field antics, you understand? It might be his training, you understand? Maybe he's not doing 100% in the training, you understand? It might be his influence. There's something off, you understand? And people are not really seeing it. And hopefully I am proven wrong if he stays at United.
Okay, that's fantastic. Collins, coming to you now. I mean, Rashford coming back to Manchester United. There has been a change of management, and we've seen people flourish. A Kobe Mino was on the verge. Kobe Mino, Amad Diallo was on the verge of leaving under a Ten Hag. Amorim came and he brought life to these two players. Don't you think the same team that Amorim managed poorly, the same team Carrick came in and they got themselves to the Champions League spot? Don't you think because Rashford is going back to play under Carrick, he's going to succeed now? Yeah, Collins, are you there?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think Rashford had the falling out with Amorim. You understand? He had the issue with Amorim and he left the club. And this is Amorim is no longer at the club. This is the entirely new management under Carrick. You get bear in mind that he has played with Carrick before as players. They have played before. You understand? So they are not strangers. So he's not just going there to meet his boss. He's going there to meet a friend. You understand? He's going there to meet someone that he's going there to meet a former teammate. And Carrick admires the guy. He respects the guy, and I feel like that's what's going to make him flourish. That's what's going to make him go back. That's going to make Carrick accept him, and that's what's going to make Manchester United give him another chance. You understand? Despite and there's a probability that he may start from the bench. You understand? Because Matthias Cunha is currently hot and blazing. You understand? Matthias Cunha is an option for the left wing. There's Mbemu. You understand? Rashford can be as a substitute. He can. We all know that. Let's be honest. If Rashford comes to that team, that squad, Rashford is the most natural left wing that they will have. To be if Rashford should go, Rashford is going to be their most natural left winger. So it's not rocket science if we see Marcus Rashford starting some games. You understand? He can use his space, beat fullbacks one on one, especially if they are playing flow block. He can cut inside, use his preferred foot to shoot. He can play as a number nine, especially if the opponents are playing this high block. His pace can help them beat this defense. You understand? So he can also be as an impact substitute against tired legs. If the defenders are already tired, fullbacks are already tired, you can bring him on to run. You use his space to create one or two things. So you can see that this guy I feel like he's going to be impactful if they bring him on, no matter if he wants to start from the bench or if he wants to start games. You understand? He can be very impactful. And like I said, this is not Amorim. He doesn't have any problem with Michael Carrick. But I feel like there are some section of the club that don't have issue with him. I feel like when he had the problem with Amorim, he maybe divided the team into two. The part that sided with him and the part that didn't side with him. And the part that didn't side with him, maybe they are still at the club, and when it comes, there will be problem. So I don't know, but I feel like we should just keep it strictly football, and I feel like strictly football is going to be a very very good addition to that attack. I mean, it's Marcus Rashford we're talking about. Last season he had 8 goals and 7 assists for Barcelona. That's 15 goal contribution in about 30 something games. That's impressive if you ask me. Even as much as Barcelona don't want him, that's okay. He went to the World Cup despite seeing limited minutes. He scored a goal and had 1 assist. So this is showing that he still has the potential. He still has what it takes to score goals and to create chances. So if it goes to Manchester United eventually, good for them. And if it doesn't work out, also good for them. This is a win to me because I really don't want their progress. You understand? So anything that makes anything that makes them crumble, I'll take it no matter what. So last season, I want to win the league. So I'm no let nobody be surprised that I'm wishing everybody in the league bad luck. I just want Chelsea to do well and win the league. Thank you.
Okay, but I mean, Temilua, this comes to you now. I mean, do you think Rashford coming back will not disrupt the dressing room? Because I mean, with the stars that Manchester United have at the moment, they don't really need a match because Rashford he might come in, and because of he's not getting playing time, he starts, fomenting trouble in the dressing room, and that disrupt the synergy in the team. Don't you think it will be best that Manchester United just let him go somewhere else and not let him come back because of the chemistry they've been able to build under a Michael Carrick so far?
Okay, so eventually there's going to be a dressing room issue. You understand? Because Rashford has this as okay. Let me put it I wanted to play football. You understand? As a footballer that didn't go pro. You understand? Let me put it as a footballer that didn't go pro. There's one mentality that would destroy a footballer. You understand? And the moment that mentality or that ideology enters into that footballer, the footballer's career is ended. You understand? And it cannot be taken away. Now, what is that mentality? The mentality is this: I play, I don't play, I'm getting paid. The moment a player has that mentality that I play, I don't play, I'm getting paid, just so that the player is finished. The player's career has ended. You understand? So I think he has gotten to that era. You understand? He was on the same boat with Sancho. He was on the same boat with Rashford. You understand? They were both on the same boat. You understand? They were lackadaisical. You understand? I play, I don't play, I'm getting paid. You understand? At the moment players have that mentality, that's the end. You get so yes, you are getting paid, either you play or not, but having it at the back of your mind solidly, you understand, will just ruin the career, and that's where we are with Rashford. You understand? So if he's on the bench, the problem should be he shouldn't be comfortable being on the bench, because once he's comfortable being on the bench, that's all. You understand? That's all. It's been a while since we've seen the best version of Rashford. It has been under Ten Hag, I think his first season, and it is only when Rashford wants to get a new contract that's when he performs. That season is when he performs. You understand? As a Man United fan, I can tell you, anytime he wants to get a new contract, he will perform like wonders that season. And once he secures the contract, that is all. He goes back into his shell until maybe he wants to renew his contract again. You understand? So seeing those patterns, you understand, and then seeing him, it will actually have an effect on the dressing room, because the Ineos, the owners of Manchester, the minority stake owners of Manchester United, said that every single player, you understand, must be worth their wage, must be worth how much they are being paid. Now, the best player currently in Manchester United is Bruno Fernandes, and he is earning £250,000 a week. Now, you have a
True.
Rashford, you understand, that's coming to sit on the bench in a £300,000 a week. He play, he no play. So what message are you sending to those on the bench? Because Matheus Cunha is earning 170, Mbeumo is not earning 200. Somebody, you understand, coming to sit on the bench and earning 300,000. No, there's going to be a rift in the dressing room, because if they see that he is not giving 100% in training, then the setting, the recycling, and everything is going to reset back to what Amorim said. Because it's not as if Amorim didn't like Rashford. You understand? At least Amorim's first 3 games, he used Rashford. You understand? But he said that he would rather use his goalkeeping coach than use a player that doesn't train 100%. And now looking at Carrick doesn't look like a disciplinarian. Carrick looked like a good guy. You understand? He wants to be a good guy to everybody. And when you are a manager, you cannot be a good guy to everybody. You understand? The moment you are trying to be a good guy to everybody, you will lose it. That's just it. You will lose it legitimately. We can see that with Xabi Alonso. You understand? Entering Chelsea, he said the thing straight. You understand? Say, you know what? These players, he has the reality is Garnacho never trained under Xabi Alonso. So once Xabi Alonso got there, he said, you are not even in my setting. You understand? That is how a manager should stamp his authority. Don't be a good guy. You understand? You can't be a good guy and then, you understand, perform as expected. You understand? There are some tough decisions you need to make. And I think that is why reintegrating Rashford into the team is going to be more of an headache, you understand, than improving the team. Yes, Rashford has all the qualities. You understand? Let's not lie. He has all the qualities to be a top player. But then that mentality that I play and no play, I'm getting paid is what has brought him to that stage. You understand? And earning 300,000, who would leave it? That's why you see Sancho was hell-bent that he wasn't going to leave Manchester United. He was still earning his 300,000 pounds. You understand? And he had to leave on a free. So Iman Rashford coming back and it's still the same cycle, and then it's just not going to sit well. For me, it's going to disturb the dressing room. You know, Xabi Alonso spotted Garnacho. Garnacho was also part of the persons that Amorim wasn't really happy with. You understand? And Amorim told him, pray you find the club. And then Chelsea came to sign him. 1 year later, he's on his way to Aston Villa. Xabi Alonso didn't even train him to tell you how crazy it is. So some of these coaches, they know how to make these tough decisions. And hopefully, Carrick can organize his dressing room. That's just what I'll just say.